is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Where your heart has always been since the very first day. I still miss Gombe summer every evening and the sailing boats beneath the bridge so high. I feel the sun and my heart within me leaving to come back to Nassau, to the sun, the sea and the sky. Oh, island boy, you know my heart is still in the Caribbean. Island boy, I still hear my girlfriend say, hey, come back home to the land of the balmy beaches, where your heart has always been since the very first.
Good yawning this morning and welcome back to On the Clock with Erin, Greene. You're tuned into Guardian Radio, that's 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk, all day. It is Tuesday, the 13th of July, 2021. And on the clock, we engage organizations, institutions, social and cultural leaders, and ordinary people to better understand the impact of public policy, private sector development, and emerging social and consumer trends. On the clock, we have conversations that help us understand and navigate a rapidly changing Bahamas. Today's show is brought to you by the Department of Inland Revenue. And now, did you know that small and medium-sized businesses throughout the Bahamas can apply for duty-free exemptions on all items needed to start or expand their businesses? This includes first-time inventory for new and expansion of existing businesses. To apply, visit mygateway.gov. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance. Well, look here, good yawning this morning. I want to send a special good morning to my producer, Kermit Ramming. Look here, I asked this gentleman to play a song for me, and he found the perfect song. He pulled it right out of the ether. Come back home to the place with the sandy beaches and all the words that I get wrong. But the most important part is this, right? All I've been thinking about all weekend, I mean, basically two things. This national honors list, but the independence celebration, right? And all the things that we did and we didn't do, all the things that we did well and the things that we had an opportunity to do well, but we missed out on. And that song reminds me of so many of those things. It reminded me that there is a diaspora. There is a Bahamian diaspora that is out there that certainly was not represented in this independence celebration. And think, I could be honest with you, who would celebrate independence more than the Bahamians in the diaspora, who have their flags waving, houses decorated, events on point, junkanoo everywhere. In fact, it seems as if our brothers and sisters in the diaspora had more junkanoo this year than we did on the island, right? And so I just thought, what a telling song. But I ain't ready to get into all of that just yet. A couple of things in housekeeping, but let me just say, today is an open line show, right? We're talking what's in the news, what's in the headlines. I want your Independence Weekend and Celebration review. I certainly have mine. But trust me, I won't give you 4 hours of it all at once, unlike our lovely Independence Committee team. I got some news. Like I said, here's one that's interesting. the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture postpones National Summer Employment Program until they get further word from the Ministry of Health. If I could read it, it says, the program has been postponed as we await further instructions from the Ministry of Health. We apologize for any inconvenience which may have been caused. Dear Ministry of Health, it's not just the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture that waits for your instructions. An entire country waits for you to address this issue. Imagine all the young people who had prepared themselves this summer to do a thing, to get some work in, to volunteer and make a little stipend, because that's what it is. You're really volunteering and making a stipend, right? They are waiting for the instructions. Please get on it for the sake of the children. Yesterday, the 12th of July, was Caribbean Literary Day. Caribbean Literary Day. And I'm hoping before the end of this month, I'm going to have a local, I don't even call it literary expert on, but someone in the literary world to come on and talk about Caribbean literature, the importance of recognizing Caribbean literature. But more importantly, as we're in our independence season, the importance of recognizing and acknowledging Bahamian literature and understanding ourselves through our lived experiences documented in literature. I see I got some lights flashing there. Kermit, those lines are good? Yeah? All right, caller, you're on the clock.
A godly day to this dark universe along with you, Greene, pretty eye, Erin, Greene.
Good morning, good morning. Look here, Brayman, they're going to accuse you of practicing Obeah if you call me Greene Pretty Eyes one more time. Be careful. These people, them on a, we don't like non-Christians move as of late, and I don't want you to get caught up in that. Leave that for me.
We don't want to worry about them.
I got you. How you doing?
Everybody has their own opinion.
Absolutely. What did you think of the Independence celebration?
But first, I want to apologize for calling you before you finish your intro. It's only because I have something to do at a certain time, and I want to get this question and answer before I leave.
I got you.
But what you asked, what's the question you asked?
Well, I asked, what did you think of the Independence celebration, right? What were your feelings on it?
Number one.
Yeah.
We are not independent.
All right.
Okay, and whatever they had, for what I got over the airwaves, it was poor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should have. It was very much poor. We should have had this little country blooming with excitement, with entertainment and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because Saturday and Monday was the day for it. Of course, Sunday was church. Saturday was church also.
Yeah.
But we should have something more, more exciting, more, what's the word I want to use?
I say galvanizing. It should have been something that drew in, that caused all Bahamians of all different types of Bahamians to want to see what's happening.
And appreciate.
Yeah.
But my main reason for calling you, right?
Yes.
Last week you had a lady on. She was talking about how the reefs are being destroyed, right?
Okay.
Now, what came to my mind, and I said I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to ask her that. Ask her it also, and of course, the persons that are responsible for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
The nerve gas that were dumped in our water some years back.
Like in the 50s, the waste from Britain and the UK, right? Chemical waste.
Well, the United States has dropped it.
Okay.
But we were looking for Britain to assist us with having it being removed.
Okay.
And Britain hadn't done it.
Okay.
So I was wondering if that was one of the problems that causing the reef to be dissolved.
Okay. I will note that question, and I will ask who I hope to be our resident science guy, Dr. Anselino Davis, and other colleagues, whether that is something that needs to be, or whether that has been investigated, and whether a link has been shown.
It needs to be looked into because it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you very much. That's one of the questions that has to be asked. I got another caller on the clock. Caller, you're on the clock.
Good morning, Erin. Greene. Happy Independence Celebration.
Happy Independence Celebration to you, too. Good morning.
Well, one thing I could say, Erin, in this Independence Celebration, you are my independent generation, and you're doing a dang good job.
Thank you.
You're a part of the 48 years. It's sad to say my independence celebration was killed. I watched the national voice. It was horrible. Number one, I thought I was watching BET.
Okay.
With only the choir singing. I mean, we got numerous of great Bahamian gospel singers, different churches, different soloists. But they were not performing. Then we have a campaign move on July the 30th saying that those Bahamian artists would not perform. They will perform and on July the 30th, which is a campaign move. And any Bahamian artist listening to Paul Canita, that is a campaign you're being used. I listened to your press conference, you called. I'm still here?
Yeah, still there.
But your press conference, you called, Vision. Stay firm. Don't attend. Boycott. Because they deliberately forget you, forget the Bahamian culture, and forget the Bahamian money. Where's the fireworks, Erin Greene?
Yeah.
I thank God I watched July the 4th, Independence.
Yeah.
July the 4th was my independence celebration, which I normally watch from since the greatest prime minister in this country in the second, Lyndon Finland, and since the second greatest, Hubert Ingram, and the third greatest, Perry Christie.
Okay.
But the worst prime minister is Hubert Alexander. Hubert Minute. They destroyed me. Erin Greene.
Do you think a lot of older Bahamians, right, who we would just assume would love the 4-hour gospel event, were also disappointed at a lack of a cultural engagement and a lack of tradition present at the event?
The 4-hour gospel was a good suggestion, good creation. We need to focus on the gospel. But we focus on one choir.
Right. So
we did not focus on Bahamian traditional field stops, the region bells, and other types of traditional music. With a guy named the Andy guy, who was a part of the Bahamas National Choir.
But Mr. Cleophas Adley.
All his music.
Yeah.
Do we still have a national
choir? You know what? There you go. Wow. I didn't even think of that.
If we don't, we had the great Adventist, the great Baptist, the great orchestra of New Testament Baptist Church. All of these people could have participated.
Man, listen, imagine if they had an interdenomination choir where they brought people from each, and then maybe an interfaith choir.
And think of Bahamian music. Who wrote? I get the Kermit Bethel. That's his name. He wrote some stuff. The guy who wrote the national anthem. He wrote some serious stuff. You remember that, Timothy Gibson?
No, Sir Milo Butler.
We don't remember Milo Butler.
That's what Julian Believes say.
That's the first governor general.
I don't know. That's what I see on the TV this weekend.
Would you run it by me again?
So there was a traditional independence man on the street interview about Bahamian historical facts and facts about the country, right? And somebody asked somebody, who is Sir Milo Butler? And the person say, boy, that's the boy who write the national anthem. And he was so bold and proud of it. Now, at the same time, maybe he was auditioning for the spot. You know, the comedy group ISBN?
Yeah. Maybe intoxicated.
Maybe because he's behind the wheel of a car. We ain't going to say he's intoxicated.
That's the kind of speak more more intoxicated than who be behind the car.
But listen, and what it did.
He wasn't on a new legislated drugs. They supposed to be bad.
No, he couldn't have been. That ain't what it is. Because I called him by name. We know who he is. That's not what it was.
No, you need to call him. Yeah, but we know who he is.
But no, it wasn't no drugs involved. I think either it was a really clever joke, or he was just misinformed. But the point is this: there are lots of Bahamians that are misinformed, and this would have been a perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? For not just a briefer, right? Like a Cliff Notes on Bahamian history and culture, but it's about cultural retention.
No, Erin, let me be fair with that. There were culture tapes being played during the Independent Week or before the Independent Week.
Okay.
I must be fair.
Okay.
They was. The National Way do a good job in doing that.
All right.
Because that's how the National Way played 24 hours Bahamian music.
Mm-hmm.
The Channel 13 did a good job in featuring. They need to do more. They need to do more up-to-date ones, though.
But listen, I got
up-to-date.
I agree, and I can move on to that in a second. I got another call on the line.
Okay, but let me get close with this.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope the 50th year be the PLP, the one who introduced it. Because it was a slap in the face to my greatest prime minister, Sir Lyndon Billnet. So I'm hoping the 50th year be celebrated by the one and only original party.
Absolutely.
I'm your punk leader, one and only original, too.
Well, thank you very much.
Majority rule, PLP all the way.
All the way. Thank you very much. Look here, I love contributions from people who are committed to being a part of the process. I see I got another caller on the line. Caller, you on the clock.
Pleasant. Good morning, Miss Greene.
Hey, good morning, Sparky. How are you?
Isn't Punkanita Uriah Maxey's son?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Is he your guest for the day?
No, he was not my guest for the day. But
you could tell me I only got 3 minutes and you gave him half an hour.
But listen, that's not what it was.
That's your friend.
What
but
it was
guess
is
what? Happy Independence celebration to you before you cut me off.
Absolutely, because you know I can cut you off right now. I just want to say something to the audience.
Yeah.
You see that? I didn't know that right away, but as soon as you tell me that, it makes sense, right? Because some people are fortunate enough or privileged enough to grow up in a particular culture that spurs them or evokes in them a desire or a sense of obligation to participate in governance. And that's why I gave him a little time, same as you.
Thank you very much. But now what I'm saying is my independence was spoiled by COVID.
Right.
This time, I must say, this was spoiled by the incompetent leader that we got walking around here.
Now,
Excuse me, I said to me.
Okay, I got you.
Now, I had a lot of fun, but I made my own fun.
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of fun around the yard because, people like me and you, we like to get dirty down in the soil.
Yeah.
And planting things, peas, putting the little cups, the peas, the okra, getting them started and everything to go down, or my watermelon and all that kind of thing because we got a little rain.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the whole weekend, I must say, what I enjoyed the most was last evening, my car's down, so a friend of mine took me out for a ride. We went around and ended up by one of your favorite places or our favorite place. The beach across from Mayfair Hotel by the Point.
Mm-hmm.
John Canoe Beach, Tiki Bikini. And I met a beautiful mother and a daughter from Atlanta. I'd like to say welcome to the Bahamas, Victoria Stern from Atlanta, if she happened to be listening. And we had such an intelligent conversation about the Bahamas. Apparently, originally she's from Jamaica, ended up in America. And I was so amazed by how much about the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time she was there, she said the Point was not there. The British colonial was there, and the place looked so different.
Yeah.
But they were scared when they went by Arawaki. They said the crowd was so massive that they couldn't stay there. So they walked by Tiki Bikini.
Yeah.
And to Tiki Bikini, when you walk in there, they reach you with cowbells ringing, everybody clapping hands, welcome you in the place. And the spirit there is what I call a real Bahamian welcome.
Yeah.
So that group down there, thank you for and they made me feel like a king.
Absolutely.
You walk into a nightclub on the beach and the waitress them playing some ringing cowbells, all the waitresses them clapping, and the manager behind frying fish and thing, he coming out, greeting you, and he's shaking cowbell too.
Boy, look
that
here.
Was such a wonderful greeting. We need to do that all over the Bahamas. Welcome our guests. Let them know that this is the most beautiful little country, not in the Western Hemisphere, in the world.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sparky. Thank you so much. Hey, one more caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock. You still there, caller? Oh, I'm sorry that I missed you, caller. Let me get to these texts. Thank you very much, texter. Great show as usual. I would like to start off the morning with good morning because I have manners. Second thing, y'all can't drive. Friday, I passed 6 accidents. Saturday, 9 accidents. And Sunday, about 11 accidents. Are the drivers in Nassau developmentally challenged? Because we not going to use that R word or just stupid. Did you hear or saw the black fungus in India? Because from getting COVID, if you saw it, it's not a pretty sight. Great show as usual. Did you see what Elsa did to New York? Yeah, I heard Elsa made its way all the way up the coast. I have been reading a little bit about the black fungus in India, and I would say to Bahamians, like, this is another example of why we still need to maintain the strictest protocols, even if we have been vaccinated. And I got sense about that as well. But to the first part of your text, yes, I don't think Bahamians really took seriously this weekend driving protocols. I spent as much time as possible off the road after witnessing a lot of very dangerous behavior on Friday and a lack of police presence on the roads. But this morning, I would like to say good morning to the professional-looking gentleman on his four-wheeler on Shirley Street this morning, trying to make a third lane, as if he was a two-wheeler. Dear sir, I don't care what profession you are in. I don't know if I am going to use your services, if that is what you think is appropriate driving. I'd like to say good morning to the driver of the dump truck that veered off the road on Nassau Street and then veered right back on. Perhaps you need to go and get your truck repaired. Certainly you need to put license plates on it while it's on the road. Good morning to the staff at Bay Street Medical who's still allowing their customers to block up the sidewalk with their vehicles. Come on, the Point has free parking. The Point has free parking. In the alternative, make an arrangement or an agreement with property owners through West Street so as not to endanger pedestrians by forcing them to walk in the road in a construction zone. Also, that big hole on West Bay Street opposite Margaritaville and by the one of the AG offices, subsidiary offices. Yeah, that one right there heading towards Junkanoo Beach. That hole is huge. It doesn't appear as if anybody in the Ministry of Works is concerned about it. So drivers, be very careful when coming around the Point to Margaritaville. There's a massive hole in the road that will kill your car. It almost killed mine. Fortunately, I was too busy looking at the tour bus parked, blocking the entire sidewalk in front of that AG's office that I mentioned just now. Cheryl's, you guys do a wonderful service. You're pretty professional. I like you guys. Stop prioritizing tourists, but making them, risk their lives at the same time don't make any sense. Yeah. Thank you for that. Another text, Lady G, Nassau is too dirty and nasty and full of potholes to celebrate independence. My daughter visited from Orlando and I shame how dirty this place is. It's a combination of things. It is a personal commitment to cleanliness, a communal commitment to cleanliness, and at a structural level, a commitment to cleanliness. I will petition constituency offices, new candidates, make relationships with the distributors and importers in your constituency and ask them to donate 2 sets of things. You want external bins for the community that can be bolted into place, and you want bags and containers, garbage containers for the home. You want to get your constituency to do construction work, to volunteer to build garbage bins for residents at a reduced rate that's subsidized by the constituency office. It is a combination of things. Erin, it's absolutely appalling that there are no Bahamian musicians or drama performances on Crystal Cruises. Every night there should be a Bahamian musician star debuting. This is insane. Come on, men of tourism and Crystal Cruises, do better. By the way, Bahamian musicians should also approach the cruise line. We must do a better job. Well, I need you all to understand something. We didn't have any cultural performances at our own independence. Sorry, I ran hard just thinking about it. We didn't have any cultural performances at our own independence. And you worry about the cruises? Like centering Bahamian culture in your tourism product? They don't even want to center it in governance. Anyway, I got another caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock. Good morning, caller.
Yes, could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. I'm very concerned because I was listening to Nahaja Block this morning.
Yes, sir.
And she's talking about the Crystal Cruise passengers' experience in Exuma and the way Exuma was. And I think of it because they're fixing the roads in Exuma.
Okay.
You know, so they should have some kind of excuse for that. But I think before these cruise ships go to any island, like islands that they've never been before, the government itself should have someone from NASA go down and inspect places where they go tourism or somewhere, go and inspect places, inspect the routes the tourists are taking and make sure them routes are in proper shape for the tour where the tourists are going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sure it's because they have the tourists, and she said that she saw certain things, but she said that was what the guests were saying about the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to this entertainment and independence and thing, you know, the Baptist church, you know, they're not allowed to shake their legs to them rake and scrape what the secular bands are playing.
Okay.
Now, sometimes they get a pass to shake their legs to that during the independence celebration because, you know, early in the night they bring on the gospel artists, then later on they bring in, so they give the Baptist church. So them Baptist people, they ain't had a chance to shake their leg to the secular artists that night. They only probably do it once a year.
Yeah.
And they lost that chance. So I think we'll get it together someday.
Well,
Happy independence.
Thank you. I think the lesson is in the critique that we'll get it right when we do it ourselves. It's not ever going to be right until we do it ourselves. The whole point is to make the government obsolete. We shouldn't have to wait on government to tell us what we're going to do for our independence celebration. And although we're in the midst of COVID, and we want to make sure that we're not breaching any state of emergency protocols, we still had the time to put together a program on our own. And that goes to the musicians as well. That's my music playing. It's time to go to a break. Call, I see you on the line. Please hold for me, and I'll get to you as soon as we get back from this break. You're listening to 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day, so stay tuned.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO. Growing wealth for future generations.
Turn the keys to your own home with CIBC First Caribbean. We'll give you time to relax when you move in by waiving your first 3 monthly mortgage payments and commitment fees. Get financing on your mortgage and a pre-approved Visa Gold or Platinum credit card with 5,000 bonus reward points and more. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/realtors-hub to connect with a realtor to make the home search easier. Finance your new home base with CIBC First Caribbean. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for details.
As a people, Bahamians are anxious about the future. Feeling down and out, unsure in these unprecedented times? We need to believe.
that loves coming back. Join us Tuesday, July 13th at 11 a.m. at lovescomingback.com for the virtual launch of Love's Coming Back, an inspiring new anthem from Grammy Award-winning founding member of the Eurythmics, songwriter, producer Dave Stewart, which will premiere globally at 12 noon. Presented by Bay Street Records, Bahamas National Trust, and BrylandAid.org.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Don't stop me, never go. Don't stop me, never go. Don't stop me. Hey, let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go now. Don't stop me, never go. Don't stop me, never go. Don't stop me. Hey, let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Hey, mama, mama, the time is right. Time for me to enjoy my life. I learned my lesson well, I stayed in school. Didn't misbehave, didn't break the rules. It wasn't easy, all the discipline. Couldn't go nowhere, ma, you can't.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You are on the clock with Erin Greene on this Tuesday, the 13th of July. And we're back from the independence ceremony, and we're getting into all the things. Did you enjoy the ceremony? Do you appreciate the critique being offered by others who didn't enjoy the ceremony? What did you do this weekend? And then we're talking national honors. Tomorrow, I'm going to have one of the honorees on my show. So we're going to get into that a bit more tomorrow as well. I see I got a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, ma'am. First time caller. Listen to you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you
so
much.
Then I have a question, and I'll hang up and listen to your answer for the question.
Okay.
Okay, the comment is concerning over the weekend concert.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anthony and Sharon said, I didn't appreciate the concert. Being a praise team leader and a choir director, and knowing but music, and I've been hearing the music, we could have done much better. But with all that is here and the leave too, where there's no vision, the people perish. Meaning, if the leaders don't have a vision on it, everybody is going to be frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have a vision. We don't have a vision on how we're going to deal with this independence thing over this year. Like you say, if we as the people don't get together to do it, it's not going to be done properly.
Right.
So we got to stand up. We can't wait till July to start planning independence.
Yes, sir.
If we didn't see this and do bad now, we need to start planning now from this now to next year. Actually, we should start planning for our 50th anniversary.
Right, exactly.
Which is our silver jubilee, and that should be a shebang bang.
Absolutely.
And July should be celebrated as independence for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my thing with that. So hopefully, like you say, all Bahamian artists treat you and only Bahamian music.
Yeah.
Which would be a good thing. Now, as far as my question was to you, you had your comment, you was talking about the independence thing. You made a comment about Constitution and whether we are behind Christian nation or not. What is the preamble? I hope I'm saying the word right. The preamble of our Constitution. I'll hang up and listen for your answer.
All right. So, what the preamble of the Constitution is, right, is it gives you an outline, like it tells you what you should expect, but it also gives you, like if you need context, it gives you a sense of context, right, for you understanding your Constitution. Now, the part that do in the Constitution, right, in the preamble, it says that like now we have the Bahamas is a country with an abiding respect for Christian values. And then in the second paragraph, it goes on to say, and we therefore move forward, right, based on or founded on spiritual values, right? So it says an abiding respect for Christian values, and the values there has a lowercase v. And then in the second paragraph, it goes, the country is founded on spiritual values. Also, there's a part in the preamble that does say, like, we are focused on God or under God. But it doesn't say, I need you all to understand, it doesn't say specifically the Christian God. Now, that should be implied, I guess you all are saying that should be implied. But what's most important is this, is that while we have an abiding respect for Christianity, we acknowledge that we are not a theocratic state or a Christian nation. Nobody is saying that we shouldn't have had a religious portion of the event. Surely have a religious portion of the event, but also include the other religions present in the country. There's an easy way to do that as well. I got another text here. Listen. Oh, well, let me finish that off. So to the texter, I think, like I say, I think it's okay to have religious portions of the event. And if you want to, you could even go as far as the majority of the vibe is a Christian vibe, you know. But it's disrespectful to the other citizens in the country to not officially recognize them and their religious beliefs if you are taking the time to highlight the importance of religion in our independence journey. You know, it's simple. Okay, I got another text here. Hello, Erin. In the midst of a pandemic and one that is seemingly raging again, are we to expect major celebration? I think it would be irresponsible of the government. I listen to many calling PM Minutes the worst PM, which to me is all emotional at best. Considering the challenges he has faced in the country, we still have much to thank God for. I mean, we still have much to be thankful for. And yes, Minutes has gone through a lot. And I don't think people are assessing Minutes with the same criteria that they assess the other prime ministers, because the context in which they operated was different. However, I just got one thing to say. I think the victims and survivors of Dorian would disagree with your assessment, the operation of this administration. Another text. Good morning. Condolences to family of the gentleman who is still missing. Hopefully this will shine a light on regulations for operators. Last weekend I tried to have a swim at Sandy Port Beach, and these guys were running up and down the beach area at great speed. So persons could not enjoy the water, so I left in disgust. They believe the waters belong to them only. Yes, we do have an issue with a lack of regulatory frameworks in this area and in many other areas. Good morning. Vaccines, according to Give site, says if you add 1 dose and 2 dose. Okay, I'm not going to read that text because I don't quite understand it. I'm sorry, text. If you could send it back to me in a shorter form. This other text here says mucormyosis or black fungus is caused by molds found in soil, rotten produce, compost, etc. It is very rare. Dirty mask wearing has increased its spreading in India. It can be inhaled. Stop the fear-mongering in ignorance. Jah works over fireworks. Don't care about celebrations the way we are headed. So 2 things. Thank you for sharing that information. I was responding to a text, and I'm very thankful that you spent your 6 cents, your little monies, to give me some more context and more information to inform my opinion. Thank you very much, texter. Please don't feel any way about it, but don't call it fear-mongering in ignorance. The texter just simply asked me if I had read about the black fungus in India, and I told them that I had. Another text. Good morning, Erin. It's a shame to the Exuma people. They neglect their own island just to see how much money they could gain. The whole Exuma is dirty and filthy. They too like money. Clean up the place. Dear texter, I don't think that's an accurate assessment of what is possibly going on in Exuma, right? I don't know if that's an accurate assessment. I think it would be interesting to do an actual assessment of Exuma and the introduction of the home cruise porting, especially since Exuma has what we call a mega resort on it already and a blooming second home industry, right? And Airbnb and small resort tourism industry. So it would really be great to get some UB students to do an assessment, an analysis of Exuma in juxtaposed to the other family islands that had port stops, right, by the new venture. Because I think it has to do with some other dynamics. And I think it's fascinating. But I got a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning. Listen, I'm sorry I cut you the other day. My apologies.
Aaron, listen, if I could deal with this crew for 4 years, and I can survive,
yeah, man.
I can make it, Erin. Trust me, and I thank God for the blessings, and I thank God for the people that He have in my life.
Absolutely.
But needless to say, right? Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who works with the COVID persons asked me to ask this question on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
How much of those persons that ride around in that vehicle are vaccinated? The first vaccine they administered to them, and how much of them are fully vaccinated?
Oh. That is interesting.
Boy, hey, listen, Miss Greene, listen to me. I had a blessed weekend. The double standards in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder could see it, but needless to say, But I will say to you what someone close to me say. The only way that Erin Greene will know the truth about this government is when God spare life, when it change. But I want to say something to you, right? I heard you raise the point, the point about they're having school summer class.
Right, this youth employment program.
Listen to me, Erin. When you get off from work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jump in your vehicle, right?
Yeah.
You either ride down by Force Garage. You know what Force Garage is, right?
Remind me.
Force Garage is the police garage.
Okay, yeah.
You ride in the back of the back way, right?
Yeah.
And look at all of those vehicles, Erin, that are sitting there, right?
Right.
But let me tell you the flip side of this. The police just acquired so many SUVs for what, Erin? Back to you again. Those same children, you don't think they could have taken that money and utilized those kids to stay off the streets so the crime wouldn't go up, so the murder rate wouldn't go up?
Mm-hmm.
They use that money in buying a bunch of vehicles. Why? I can leave this with you. Why is it that this government continuously to give their cronies, these big dealerships contracts? For what, Miss Greene? That's wasted money. People in this country hungry, Erin.
I feel you do it.
They suffering, and while they worried about buying vehicles, and they got over almost close to hundreds of vehicles in the back of in the back of the police force garage.
Yeah.
Come on, man, that ain't fair, man.
Boy, thank you, do it. I can do some investigation on that. Hey?
Wow. Have a good day.
Thank
sir.
you.
Have a good day.
I didn't even know what Forbes Garage was, but I've always asked myself, why has not the government and RBP have partnered with BTVI, right, to train local mechanics to vet them and train them to work on those cars? And why don't we have a youth program where if you're just leaving the cars to rot, that you don't have young people working on the cars and learning a trade? I want to thank you, DeWitt, because while you were talking, it made me realize, why are you postponing this program? Because guess what? You got a lot of jobs and areas that you could place these young people in and still maintain the COVID protocols. You got a lot of digital services that you're putting online. You got a lot of information that you need to take from hard copy and paper and digitize it and put it into computers. I mean, there's a lot of things that young people could be doing and still maintaining the COVID protocols. I see I got another caller on the line. Caller, you're on the clock. I'm sorry about that, caller. Another caller. Caller, you're on the clock.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good,
I
good.
could feel better. Belated happy independence.
Why, thank you.
Just one observation. The show before you, Miss Black was on that show.
Mm-hmm.
She was describing the itinerary and her experiences. Spoke about it over. That was one eerie, nasty, scaly feeling that I felt when she described Exopa. Okay, she spoke about how dirty it was, how unfriendly the people were, how the business was closed, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That is not our brand, man. I work in hospitality through it for almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is not our brand. And for me to feel that way when she described Exuma, man, that's awful. Could you imagine a tourist coming here? You know, we just gone to the beach, right? We've been there yesterday. We left that Kentucky box on that beach. Okay, we left that collect bottle on that beach. That's nasty. Okay, they just don't do that. We've got a brand. We've got a name out there. People expect a higher more for us, man. You know, this is not Cuba. It's not Jamaica. It's not St. Lucia. brand, they don't expect no garbage on the beach. They don't expect us to throw garbage out the windows or a bottle when we finish with it. Come on, man, we have to love our country. We're marching towards a common lofty goal so the workers see us shining. And I'm not just talking to hear myself or to feel good. It's just the fact that we are messing up this golden thing that we've got. Okay? We've got to do better.
Absolutely.
We must do better. And one more thing, you see all this crime and from Thursday to now we done kill 5 people. That's a part of the brand. You expect for them people to read them type of things in the newspaper and come to a country like that? Oh no, they ain't coming. That's so much crime. There's a part of Jamaica they don't go because there's too much crime there. And some people don't go to Jamaica at all because crime at all. So you want it to happen here too? Don't forget now, we done borrowed $4 billion. We got to pay that back. If it don't pay back, then the money devalues, you know.
Boy.
Okay? And we don't want that. But thanks for letting me share.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You raised a lot of things. I want to say, you know, we could be on the same path to Jamaica, and it's not about who we are. It's about how we do what we do, right? And how the business of tourism and the business of engagement. And that's why this independence conversation is so important, because, you know, you can't just exclude people from a space and then expect them to disappear, you know? And we keep excluding people from the political space, from the governance space. We keep excluding people from the national identity. But they're not going to disappear. They're not going to small up themselves or invisibilize themselves to make others feel comfortable, right? Or to make it easier for you to sell your dream. Politician or tourism marketer, right? That's not what's going to happen. And so the more we exclude people from the whole, right? The more we exclude them, the more they claim they own space with whatever it is, whatever tools they have. So the correct response is always inclusion. The correct policy decision is always inclusion, you know? But like I say, I don't want to say anything that may seem prejudicial or uninformed. I want to sit down with some analysts and talk about this Exuma example. Good morning to my texter. Thank you. Morning, Miss Greene. F&M 2 straight, better to come. Another message there. Texter, you sent a very large message and it did not come through. Another text. Here we go. Tell your caller the only thing us Bahamians plan on is to go to Miami. We having a great show. Thank you, texter. Erin, don't ride around in your vehicle. These people is drive too bad. Do it or whatever his name. He ain't saved. Do it is saved. Don't you dare declare that on my brethren. You don't watch nothing. Why? Because the history of humanity is that the original humans on Earth were black. Time passes. Blacks have been globally robbed and degraded. Now the humans in the name of science are being brainwashed in all living sectors. The texter goes on to say, I'm sorry, I must be politically correct. You were about Exuma. I lived in Exuma for a year. Through the side streets of craters, Erin, literal craters, dried up blue holes. The Exumians have filled practically all of them with garbage. See, now we making sense. If we had started the conversation off over there, then I sort of get it. So what we may be seeing is the symptoms of a community that has been ignored by state infrastructure. And that too is a form of violence. Another text, Erin, those new police vehicles are gifted from the U.S. Embassy. They are given every 5 years as a collaborative agreement to fight crime in our country. Those vehicles are particularly equipped for that purpose and are not to the dime of the Bahamian pocket. Okay, cool. So first things first, we want to thank the U.S. Embassy for donating us a new fleet of cars every 5 years. That's great. Does that prevent us, though, from using the old cars when the new fleet has been delivered to be used in a school for training, a part-time employment program for young men to motivate them socially? I mean, you ain't gonna send me for a new fleet of car every 5 years and tell me it's nothing I could do with the other set of cars. But even if it's nothing we could do with it, technically, Let's strip the cars down. Let's teach these young men about salvage, right? And let's begin a recycling program with the incentive being the money that these young men could make from it. Right? But this is what happens when we include, when we work on a policy of inclusion versus exclusion. Another text, get them to wit, they think they too smart. Bunch of cold crew. Hi, Miss Greene. Every day I tune into your show just to hear when DeWitt talk. Miss Greene, I like your show. Thank you very much. And I like to hear DeWitt's contributions. And here's the thing I want Bahamians to understand, right? You listen to all your Bahamians. Listen to all the voices. At that point, include all. And take from them what you need, what is valuable to you. But don't exclude voices from the whole or the common space because it makes you personally uncomfortable. That is not fair. That is not decent. This country doesn't belong to you one alone. It belongs to all of us, whether we have enough money to sit at the table where the decisions are being made or not. And that takes me to, I guess, one of my, because I write out of time, it takes me to my last question for the day, because I'm not sure if I'm going to get into this part of the politics tomorrow, but what does a non-politician have to do to get this high honor? What does a non-politician have to do to get right honorable in front of their name? Do we give non-politicians this highest order that we have bestowed upon Algernon Allen, former cabinet minister? And are Christians the only people who are going to get honored in these national honors? We got to focus more on inclusion, Bahamians. So as we go, I have one last note. I want to say to the Sweeting family and to the Queen's College Comet family, I'm sharing condolences on behalf of my family and myself on the passing of Reverend Charles Sweeting, former principal at Queen's College. And Kermit, if you give me just a second, I want to close out with this interfaith prayer that I have written. Whether I identify as Christian or not, it doesn't matter, because my foundation is in the church, and the important things I've learned are from people in the church. And so, on the passing of Reverend Charles Sweeting, I want to share this interfaith prayer. May God's grace pour over you, guide and protect you, and may the light of the universe that shines in all of us support and comfort you. Reverend Charles Sweeting was a giant of a man and one who was never shy to encourage me to continue doing what I was doing. I want to say to Charles Sweeting's family, thank you for sharing him with us over this time. Have a great day, Bahamas. Thank you to my producer, Kermit Ramming. It's been a wonderful day, and I'll see you same place, same time, tomorrow on 96.9 FM, Guardian Radio, your station for fresh news, smart talk, all day.